Hey everyone, this is Alex here. We're going to go over how to record your stats using the pklmart data entry tool. It's going to be a pretty long tutorial, so you can find information in the description if you want to jump to different sections. Also, you can see there's this mouse on the screen, which is going to be helpful because it's going to track what I'm actually doing. So you can see I'm left-clicking here, right-clicking here. Yeah, let's get into it. So if you want to produce beautiful reports, such as this one, we obviously have to gather the data. And right now we offer a public data entry tool, which anyone is welcome to use. And it's probably the reason you're watching this video. And so what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to get up and running. We're going to do a few example rallies using some pro footage and try and cover nuanced, tricky situations that come up, etc. If at any point you have questions, feel free to reach out to us at pklmart.analytics@gmail.com, and we'll respond to you shortly. All right. So here is the data entry tool, also known as the DET. It is det.pklmart.com, and what you'll notice is that there are two sections, right? So up top, you have the game info section, which is where you provide information about the match being played and the players that are participating. You can see some very basic instructions here. We'll go over this in a bit. The second part of the data entry tool is down here, where you actually have a court. And this is where you're going to be clicking. You'll actually see a video pop up here in a second. And so the first thing you need to do is actually find some footage on a video that you'd like to do data entry for. So let us, let's see. Here's one that I pulled up. This is from this past weekend's APP event. It's the women's doubles final. So you're gonna take the URL. Quick note. We currently only support videos on YouTube. And so if things are on Facebook or are not uploaded to YouTube yet, I'd encourage you to do so. We do this because YouTube has an easy API that allows us to collect timestamp information whenever a user clicks. You'll see why that's helpful. So we're going to copy this URL. We're going to place it in the game info section. And you'll see immediately the video is actually down here. So let's see, game type. We support basically standard scoring or rally scoring. And if you recall, the most recent Major League Pickleball event used like a variation of rally scoring where like they called it no freeze. You can research that if you want. This match used normal scoring. This is a good point to call out. We only support doubles right now. If you are interested in tracking your stats for singles, please let us know. The reason we haven't built it yet is because of lack of interest. All right, so here you can select a tournament. If someone has already entered a match from an existing tournament, it may show up on this list, but I don't think we've done one from APP Houston. So I'll go ahead and say APP Houston Open, hit create. Perfect. This was in 2023. We're going to start with game number 1. And I think this was played, so it was uploaded 7 hours ago. I think it was actually on Sunday though. Yeah, Sunday the 28th. Oops. 29th. There we go. All right. Skill level. This is a pro level match. The username right now, you can literally just put whatever you want. I just use my name. And I know this tournament features Duras. So now for the player names, you'll see that the tool requires you to enter players, starting server over here, their partner here, starting returner here, their partner there. So let's go ahead. I'm going to adjust the playback speed. 25 is probably fine. Good quality. All right. So one helpful trick is to use the shortcut, the left and right keys, to go forward and backwards 5 seconds. So we're going to fast forward all the way to where the match actually begins. Commercials. All right. Blah, 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 blah. All right, a little too far. Oh, sorry, 0-2.
She's old, Susie. duo.
All right, looks like they're warming up.
Quite a
Here we
few
go.
tournaments now.
All right, so it looks like Susanna Barr. So we don't have a match for her yet. Is the starting server, and she is playing alongside Megan Fudge. Great. So they're both righty. They're both female. And it looks like Alex is taking the first return. You can see if a player already exists in our database, like we have a match for them, they'll automatically appear. And she is playing with Vivian Glassman. Hope I didn't miss a V. Or an N. I think that's right. Cool. So once you've done that, you can go ahead and hit begin game or resume game, and it'll take you to this section down here. And the first thing we need to do is go to where the match starts.
Calls from have what? And here they are.
All right, this looks like the first rally. Luckily, the players are on the correct side. However, say Susanna and Megan were down here, you can use the swap team sides button to swap sides. This is helpful between games, or even game threes where teams change sides halfway through the match. Okay. So this is where things get fun and where we actually start collecting data.
Susanna Barr.
So here's the general premise. You're going to be clicking when contact is made with the ball, and you're going to be doing it, where on the court contact was actually made. That is the general principle of doing data entry. And so I'm going to go do a rally now, and then I'll walk through the different steps. Okay. So I'm going to play this one. Yeah, we'll go even slower. When you start, I would recommend start slow, build your way up. I find that the first two matches are pretty difficult. This is certainly a learned skill. By match number 3, I'd say most users are decent. By match number 5, people are pretty comfortable doing data entry. So keep at it, especially if it's difficult up front. You will get better. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to
look at her.
Click where contact is made, roughly. Alex hits it here.
Boise, Idaho.
We got a nice drop shot coming in.
She's gonna get us started with the serve.
Vivian reaches in. Okay, trying to work their way up. Notice I'm actually clicking a little bit after contact. That's fine. You don't have to be perfect. Setup here. Good dig. It's a really good first rally. And then Alex misses it. All right. You'll notice I actually added an extra click at the end of that rally, and that is where the final shot landed. That is the only time that we click when a ball actually lands. Like I said earlier, otherwise, clicks are where the point of contact is made. Okay, so the rally ended. What we're going to do here is we're going to indicate how the rally ended, and you have a handful of options. So you can say that this team just won the rally, maybe there wasn't an error or a winner. It was just kind of like a good ball, and the other team didn't really have a chance, but it wasn't a winner. Those are situations where I like to use the, team A or team B rally won. In this case, I think it's pretty clear that Alex made an error. I personally would not call it an unforced error. We could go years trying to define what differentiates an unforced error versus an error. My guidance at the end of the day is that however you want to track your stats and what would be meaningful to you, use your own definition. When we do our kind of aggregate analyses and data, we typically group all errors in the same category. But in this case, I'm going to say Alex made an error. What you'll notice is that the score was updated. It's now 1-0-2. Megan and Susanna are now listed on the other sides of the court because, scored a point. So let's fast forward to the next rally.
For use to get it.
All right, here we go. Here is a situation where a team is stacking. And so we need to indicate that the players are actually on the other side of the court, right? Susanna's going to hit the serve and shift over here. To do that, we're going to start talking about left-clicking versus right-clicking, okay? So instead of left-clicking to indicate where the serve was, like where contact was made, I'm actually going to hit right-click. That does two things. First, it indicates that the serving team is stacking because we know it's the first click. And it's also going to indicate where the point of contact of the serve was made. So look, I'm going to right-click here, and the side, or the names, are going to go to their respective sides. Okay. So that is the first click.
Into it more.
I'm going to pause here to indicate Vivian hit a return around here. The same principle applies in the return. If you see that the returning team is stacking, you can go ahead and right-click for the return, and that will flip the player sides. You'll have an opportunity to revisit if a team stacked at the end of the rally, so don't worry if you miss that step, but do keep it in the back of your mind. Okay.
Whereas this
Now, the third shot is probably the trickiest shot to do data entry on.
match.
Okay. So, there are two things you have to know. One is which player is hitting the third. And to do that, again, you can, after the rally, I'll show you how you can indicate it. I prefer to do it real time. And you can do it using the 1 and 2 hotkeys. So, you know, the 2 is like to the right of the 1, like if you're looking at your keyboard. And so if the right player, from the perspective of the data entry user, so in this case, Megan and Alex, they're like players on the right side of the screen. If they're the one hitting the third, hit the 2 button at any point in the rally, before the third, after the third, doesn't really matter. I'm going to hit it right now. Then, to indicate whether the third was a drop, a drive, or a lob, you have a few different options. You can always revisit the instructions up here, which detail this information. And it looks like Megan ends up driving this ball. Okay. So in that case, we're going to left click. Basically, a good rule of thumb is if they hit it hard, left click. If they hit it soft, right click. Okay. So I'm going to left click here. You can see it's orange. That indicates like a drive. A blue would indicate a drop. You can also shift click, which would indicate a lob. All right.
In use.
So all these shots here, again, we're just going to do point of contact, nothing too special. Bam, bam. Oh, that's kind of a lob. So, okay, so that's nothing special. Similar to a third shot lob, a lob at any point in the rally, you can hold shift and just left click. Okay. So I actually don't know if I input the last shot. What I'm going to do is use this remove last shot button. Sure enough, the last shot was over here and I actually missed it. So it looks like we have 2 more shots from this rally that we still need to input. To do this, you can use the rewind the last shot button, which is this shot that Alex hit. I'm going to go back and input the last 2 shots.
Sure.
Okay. And notice again, this last little circle is going to indicate where the last shot landed. So Alex hit it into the net. That last shot is going to be into the net. And we're going to say she made an unforced error.
Wrong with the overhead.
All right.
Into the.
Other ways that you can end the rally, there's one more I forgot, is the timeout feature. You're not really ending the rally, but we do like to track timeouts in our data. And so, again, you can use that. One thing I mentioned earlier is that you can actually update some information after you have logged a rally. So here is the rally and shot log information. You can expand the rally log to check all the different shots. If you want to go back to the third shot drive, you can simply click here. Like, was that a third shot drive?
Use.
Yeah, it looked like one. Great. So the serving and returning team, like indicating if they stacked, I told you can use the right click feature on the server return, but you can also just go here after the rally and change the value. It actually looked like I did not indicate who hit the third shot. That's what this field is for. And so what it should have said, so in the rally log, you can also read the description. This field should be populated like the left side or right side player as you would typically think of it. So in this case, Megan was the left side player. This should actually say left. Everything else looks all right. We're actually working on updates to populate this third shot player field, so stay tuned. All right. I wanted to show one more rally. So there's one last piece of information that we want to go over here.
Suzanne she traveled.
No, she's born in Germany.
With Veet.
All right, here's the last one. The last rally that we're going to go over today. So we're going to go, and it looks like we cut off the serve a little bit. That's all right.
And their two kiddos in an RV to most of the.
Hit the one key, right click.
Stops.
Another dink. Okay. Notice how I right clicked for Alex's shot here. Dinks, and some people will use like this right click feature for like kind of like resets or soft shots moving into the kitchen. It's actually optional, up to you. We're fine using left or right click for those kind of shots, but dinks, you should always right click. And you can see that it was a right click because it's like a little beige icon. Looks like Megan's gonna hit a dink here as well. Whoop, and then Alex sped that up right to Megan, and then she's gonna put it away. So we can say in this case she hit a winner. Also note that yeah, all right, don't know how it's going there. So over the course of a game, this actually did not work again. I'll have to look into why that's the case.
Timeouts.
We hit the third shot here.
RV to most.
It was the right side player. Okay, so you can imagine doing this for an entire game. Once you are finished with the game, you can review the logs, make sure everything looks okay. All you'll need to do is hit the complete game and download CSVs button. What this does is actually sends the data to our database. I will say if you get like halfway through a game or something, you can close out of here and it'll save your progress. So just for example, close out, come back to it. Great, hit resume game, and you're back where you were before. Not a problem. We're gonna pretend like we did finish this game. And we're going to go ahead and hit complete game and download CSVs. The CSV output, so comma separated values, is like an old way that we process files and actually aren't necessary anymore. Go ahead and hit OK. It'll download some files. They're like flat files with data in them. You don't need them. And at this point, we're ready to create the report. Go ahead and just send an email to the pklmart.analytics@gmail.com account, and we'll go ahead and just process the report. It's not too much work on our end. We do a very quick sanity check before we actually create the report. All right, I think anything else I wanted to mention. No, I think that is the gist of it. I will note that for pro matches, like sometimes they use a weird camera angle, like that kitchen cam that they'll switch into in the middle of the rally. That is pretty annoying to input. Luckily, most of our requests are actually for amateur matches, so they have like kind of a stationary camera. I would not try and input matches that film from the side, like filming from the back of the court, or even from like the diagonal is doable. From the side, it really is not fun. Been there, tried that. Yeah, thanks for watching. And if you have questions, reach out.